Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival Virtual Edition. Featuring interactive cooking demonstrations, live and streaming concerts showcasing some of Canada's best Indigenous talent. Plus a virtual marketplace, online arts and crafts demonstrations, social distancing powwow, and much more. Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival Virtual Edition. June 1st to 21st. Full schedule and details at summersolsticefestivals.ca.
Osego, everybody. My name is David Maracle. I live on the Tyendinaga Mohawk territory, and I'd just like to give a big shout out, a big Nyawagoa, to the Indigenous Tourism Authority for including me in this production to come into your homes and bring some good energy. And I would just like to say what an honor it is to be alive and be healthy and have my family healthy around me. And I've been smudging right now, and I've been praying that everybody stays safe and healthy. We've been practicing social distancing here, and I know it's hard on everybody and everybody's pocketbooks maybe, and that Owista, it's not as out there as we would like it to be right at the moment, and and we have to really include our thoughts and prayers and send them out to everybody that may be struggling during this time. And I'm going to put this medicine into the fire on the Mohawk territory, the Peacemakers territory, and just say some prayers for y'all and hope that you are all doing the same with the social distancing and washing them hands, them paws. Anyway, later on I'll be doing a few songs for you today, and just to bring some nice sounds into your home. And I'm gonna drop this into the fire right now. So for this beautiful day, Wendy's Ardeo. I hear we're gonna get a little rain, but that's okay because we're all planting right now, and we just put our seeds into the ground. My wife and I went out and we dug up the ground, and she sang to the seeds because it is time right now for the women to start honoring those seeds and honoring creation as she puts that into the ground to bring forth life. And right here, I have Otneganos, the lifeblood of Mother Earth. And without this, we wouldn't be here. And without this, our seeds wouldn't be born and wouldn't be taking flight. And I'm going to have a little sip, and then I'm going to give some to the earth. And to all you out there, very precious commodity right here, the water. In fact, I'd like to play a song on my flute called The Lifeblood of Mother Earth. I'll play one later for you in the house, but right now I'm just going to do it all organic for you guys, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this song. Tehaneni Aguedaros is my indigenous name, my own Wahuan name, where the stone is halved. I'm a stone sculptor, and that's something too that's been keeping me very busy, is going into my studio and working on different carvings with the stone. And I love carving eagles, agwiks, the messenger bird to the spirit world. So anyway, without further ado, I play to you Lifeblood of Mother Earth.
So we are recording from the Tyendinaga Mohawk Territory. What is your name, sir?
My name is David Robert Maracle. My indigenous name is Dehananiaguedaros, cutter of stone.
And where did you grow up?
I grew up in Akwesasne on the Mohawk Territory. Then shortly after, I think I was around 10 or so, I moved to Tyendinaga Mohawk Territory, where I found this to be my home forever.
So what was your inspiration to get into the arts and music?
My inspiration was being able to travel with my parents to many different native territories, indigenous territories, and take part in the powwows and listen to the legends and the stories. It was very intriguing at that age.
So then you are now a musician, a multi-instrumentalist. How did that happen?
That happened just because I wanted to be able to express myself in a native way and take all those teachings and put it out, and all the different things that I've chosen in my life, I've actually incorporated all the teachings and stories into.
So where did your career start? I understand you were instrumental in APTN.
It started off with doing some openings here and there, and all of a sudden it caught the ear of some producers and some people that were starting this TV show called APTN, and it was the launching I was asked to play at, and from that they actually purchased music of mine to use in their commercials for television.
And now you have how many compilations out there?
I have 14 albums out now, and I'm very excited to say that one of them have went gold around the world, and it's really nice to be able to have that and to tell the youth when I travel that indigenous music has went into that realm, and it's a great inspirational tool for others that may want to get into it as well.
So you've had a very long career. When did you start the art and music?
In 1985, I started carving stone, and I really enjoyed that as I could express myself with the stories. I was carving the legends in stone, so it'd be documented for history and for time immemorial to tell and teach and educate each one of us and people around the world of our history and culture.
And there's some history behind the flute that you're holding?
Yes, this flute here, this is the very first flute I made after a trip to Oklahoma. I played in Oklahoma on the very first flute that I purchased, and I got the ear of some radio stations down there, and that really excited me to be able to play live on a radio station when I had only been playing for a few days. And I came home and wanted to figure out how to make an unusual flute, something that was artistic. So I actually made this one. This is the very first, I believe, one of its kind, an oval flute, and it's kind of neat. The back of it here is signed by Michael Jackson's guitar player, Jennifer Batten. She called me up one day and she said, David, she said, I have some good news. I would like to send you a ticket to come and see me play at the Molson Amphitheater. And Jeff Beck and I are on tour. Would you like to come? I says, absolutely. So I went and I took my flute that she signed, and I took my little drum here, and I was playing in the back after their concert. They asked if I wanted to do a concert to all their fans, so I went into the back where their green room, and all the fans that were in there getting their autographs, they had me play to them as well. And Jeff Beck actually signed my drum in here, and I cherish these both as a musician.
Didn't you also meet Lenny Kravitz?
I played with parts of Lenny Kravitz's band in Toronto. That was one of my highlights, and
Where else have you played
I
other
played.
than Canada?
I've toured over in Australia. I toured to many venues there. I played at the Sydney Olympics. I played in Austria. Recently, I was in Pakistan for a month, playing there, teaching and educating about our arts and culture and music.
So, with the arts and the music, if you had to choose, which one would you choose?
That is a question people ask, and it's a very hard answer back, as they're both equal in my life.
So back, you've had your business since 1985, but I understand you opened another business in 2009.
Yes, I opened up another gallery. I used to have a gallery years ago, and I decided after that was done, years went by, and I decided to open up a second location, and I called this one the Little Crow Cafe, actually, and art gallery.
But I also heard that it wasn't just a cafe and a gallery. You added a third element.
Well, I wanted to put a little bit more of what I love to do in my life, so I added a stage out back, a beautiful organic stage, and we hired bands, and people came in from all across Canada and the United States, and the very first act I had was actually Willie Dunn, very famous Indigenous writer, singer-songwriter. I had Astrid Young, Neil Young's sister, performed there. I had Tom Wilson performed there. Gabrielle Ayala from the Southwest. So many different performers, and not only the performers, we extended the cooking part out to the back. We put in a nice outdoor kitchen, and we served again Indigenous food and good quality food, hamburgers, hot dogs, and right up to chicken dinners and fish fries.
Who were the chefs that you had?
We had actually Michael Potters was the very first chef to come and cook there. Very famous chef. I think he was on a TV show. He had his own TV show called Chef Worthy. And we've had Rich Francis has cooked here. He's a very well-known Indigenous Mohawk artist, I believe. And we've had Sebastian Schwab from France has cooked here. So there's been many different people that wanted to come and be a part of what we're doing because they could feel the love.
So in 2015, everything shifted though with you going to Pakistan and doing your music. What did you do with the business?
Well, I could see many doors opening in my life, and I had ran this business next to me right now for about 9 years, and it just seemed to, I think as an artist, we're always pushing ourselves, and we do something, we accomplish things, and we like to move on and keep adding a little bit more spice to the soup. And I decided I wanted to get back to my traveling again. I wanted to revisit what I really love to do, and that was entertain and talk about our history and our culture through music and art. So this is why I wanted to turn what I had into a beautiful space. It is right now we rent cabins on the water.
Retreat?
It's a retreat. It's like it's almost like a healing retreat where people can come in and feel the energy of a lot of things that's went on in the past.
And how many? There's like one cabin, or there's.
We have one main cabin. We have a bunkie, and we have a pod out at the end of the peninsula. And we love getting all the great feedback of how people feel and how the energy is with the water being at hand, and they can fish and kayak and all these things. And coming from the birthplace of the peacemaker, it is probably a very powerful spot that people have never felt in their life before. This is why it's such a popular place now for tourists to come and visit.
So what is your number one message for everyone who is struggling during this pandemic with this virus, what would be your number one message to everybody?
My number one message is to use wisdom, use your head, and practice your distancing, wash those bare paws, and you just take care of yourself and take care of your elders. Don't get too close to them right now, just in case. We want to keep that knowledge intact and that wisdom around us, and that thing that they can offer us, when we go to them. But try not to go to them right now unless you're on the phone or between a window.
And what was the message that your dad gave you when you were younger?
My dad was always giving me a lot of great messages and to use in my life. And one of them was, he said, "You know that word responsibility?" And I said, "Yes, I do, I guess. Why you ask?" He said, "Well, I'm going to tell you, when you break that down, it means respond to your ability. Everybody has something that they can respond to, whether it be good or bad. Try to pick those great things in your life and act on those and magnify those and work it. If it's working, work it and make it, cultivate that into your life." And my mother, she said to me, she says, "You eat the fish, son, and you leave the bones." And eating the fish, I was thinking, what is she talking about? And then later on, I actually kind of thought about it, and then eat the fish is like the words of a wise man, and swallowing the bones is like the words of a fool. So I practice that in my life.
So that'd be your final message to everybody.
Yes, stay safe and wash your hands and social distance.
Take care of yourself too.
And take care of yourself.
what is your most favorite traditional story from the Haudenosaunee people?
Well, come to mind, I would say, I'd have to say the story of how the birds got their song. And that's always been one of my favorites. And it's all about how each bird would fly and with no voice. And I thought, wow, that's crazy. Because we hear them all now and it's like, it sounds so beautiful. And I was told, well, do you want to hear how they receive their voices? And I said, absolutely. So this is how it goes. A long time ago, the creator, Sunguadiso, looked at all the birds and he said to the birds, he says, you know, he said, I feel bad. He said, I built all you birds, I made all you birds, but I didn't give any of you a voice. He said, I think I'm gonna start out by having you all show up at the Council Rock in the valley, and I will instruct you on how you're going to receive your song. But you have to come there before the sun comes up. So the birds were all excited and they all showed up at the valley by the Council Rock, and there was the creator. Now the creator said to all the birds, he said, I'm going to give you all a song, he said, but the one who can fly the closest to the spirit world will have the greatest song of all the birds. So they were all excited and they're all looking around at each other and they're thinking, wow, this is great. So the creator said, now, he said, when that sun pokes up over the hill, I want you to take off towards the heavens, and as soon as you feel your energy giving out and you turn, you're going to get your song. He said, but the one that can make it the closest will have the greatest song of all the birds. So they're all thinking to themselves, wow, this is amazing. And they're all looking each other over. There's little ones, there's big ones, there's fat ones and skinny ones. And they're all looking each other over and they're thinking to themselves, wow, the little ones were probably thinking, what chance do I have in getting any song here of any significance? You know, I'm not going to have a voice at all. Look at the eagle and look at the vultures. Look at all these beautiful big birds that prey. They're just going to soar up into the heavens and get these songs. So before the sun came up, there was a little hermit thrush. And he was looking around and you could see there was nobody looking. It was dark enough now where you could only see the silhouette of the birds. And he decided to jump on board of one of the big birds of prey, and it happened to have been the eagle. The sun poked up over the hill and the birds took off towards the heavens. And there was so many birds that when they took off, the sky just went black again, just blocked the sun, and they were all competing for this song. And as each would turn, they'd pick up their song. Now the sky was starting to thin out with birds, and there was a few birds left in the sky and they were still pressing on. Now there was one bird in particular, and he's moving and he's moving up and he's looking around and there's no more birds around, and he thought, wow, he said, I'm the only one in the sky, and I still have a little bit more power in my wings. I'm going to just go a little bit more because I want to have the best song. So he lifted his wings and he flapped, and up he went. And just as he lifted for the last flap, the little bird that was riding on board woke up. And he flew out, and the eagle felt something, and he turned and he looked. And he could see that little bird, and the little bird could see the eagle looking at him. So the eagle, he was out of steam now. He just turned and came back. He was kind of mad. And the little bird knew that this wasn't going to be good. This is why I was told by the elders, they said, you know the best song? You know where the best song is? I said, no, where is it? They said, the best song is in the bulrushes. And I said, what do you mean? That little bird that cheated to get his song, he has to hide now the rest of his life. And you can never see him. So because he cheated, he has to hide with all this beautiful voice he has. And the eagle was cheated. And the eagle was mad, and he picked up a squawk, and almost like he needs a lozenge. But the Creator could see that there was something going on here where the eagle was really wanting to persevere to be the best he could be. And the Creator knew the eagle was cheated. So this is why we use eagle feathers in our ceremonies. This is why we hold these when we talk and they're passed around. This is why we can wear them in our gastoas and in our hats during ceremonies. We don't have to remove that hat because we're holding something now that is very special and powerful to the Creator. And the Creator understands, and the eagle understands, that the transitions that go on with us are with the help of the eagle, because the eagle carries our prayers to the spirit world and releases them. And when we see an eagle in the sky, it's almost like a confirmation of our thoughts at that time. When we're sad or when we're happy, at that very peak of that moment, the eagle will show himself. And that's a sign to our people to say that everything's good, or it may be a sign that's carried that there's danger approaching. This is why in our great law we have the turtle at Nora, the earth, and then we have that sacred pine with the white with the 5 needles on there, and then we have that eagle perched on top that watches for any people approaching our camp, where people can come from all over the world and come and sit with our people and know that they will be protected and have that medicine. You know, go on. is walking with the elders. Technology and me, whew, I have to learn all this stuff while I'm in COVID. Anyway, the next song I'm going to do is The Lifeblood of Mother Earth. I know I did it earlier, but I'm going to do it indoors right now and add some effects and That was the lifeblood of Mother Earth. The next song I'm going to do, I think I'm going to honor the people on the East Coast and do the Mi'kmaq Honor Song. I really like that song. It feels good to play. It's a song written by George Paul. And I'm going to get my wife to actually come and join me. It's very rare when I can get my wife to come and play the drum for me. She's standing off in the background, so she's holding my drum right now. So this song I'm going to play to the four directions and to honor all the people out there that are in lockdown and practicing safe measures during this COVID-19. And would just like to say Nyawagoa for having me on tonight and for listening to some of the stories and music that we had to share with you tonight. And I think ending with this would be very appropriate to let everybody know that we're thinking of them and that they stay safe. Mi'kmaq honor song. I'm gonna play, just play something soulful on my big flute here. And this was designed for me. I was on a musical journey in, I believe it was Florida, and I was at a place called Musical Echoes, and there was a lot of flute players there. And when I showed up, it was so beautiful. The sounds coming out of the woods, and there was hang drums being played, and flutes, and drummers and singers. And I ended up bumping into a gentleman, and he was watching me play at my booth, and he said, "Wow," he said, "I really like your grooves." And I said, "Thank you." And he said, "I'd really be honored if I could make you a flute." And I said, "You'd be honored to make me a flute?" He said, "Yes, I think I would love to make you a flute and have you tour around the world with it and play." So he actually told me, he said, I'm gonna bring over a log and I'm gonna lay it in your arms, and I want you to hold it and show me how you're gonna hold it, and get comfortable with it, because I'm gonna, exactly like you hold it and cradle that wood, I'm gonna make a flute for you. His name was Randy Stenzel. And he recently passed away, so owning this flute is something very special and dear to my heart. So when he laid that log in my hand, I just held it like a baby, and he said, "Where are you going to put your mouth to play? Are you going to play it this way?" I said, "No, I want to play it at the side." So I just kind of looked off to the side, and he said, "Okay, is that what you want?" I said, "Yes." So my hands, the way they were held, and the whole bit, he marked it, he lifted each finger, and after that he said, "You'll be getting this gift in the mail." So this is the gift I got in the mail. And this, I want to honor the man that made the flute. If he's listening, he has passed away. He had cancer, and so this is a very special instrument to be able to play. I hope you enjoy the sounds. now I'm gonna play some hang drum for you guys. This is a very soothing instrument. I can play this for hours and hours, and just the sound and the quality of the sound that comes from this drum. This drum comes from Switzerland, by the way, and I've carted this around the world with me since I've had this in my possession. It's in a 528 hertz frequency, and it's known to heal your heart. And this drum was given to me by a very dear friend of mine. His name's Donald Kwan. He's a very accomplished artist. He's got a lot of awards for movie industry, music, and actually I've worked on pieces with Donald. And it's quite an honor and a pleasure to work side by side with somebody his caliber. Anyway, he knew that I was falling in love with this instrument, and he told me the whole story of how he got this instrument. And it's quite an endeavor to get one of these. You have to write a letter to the people that make them in Switzerland. And if you're fortunate enough that you've written down all the right things and you've displayed your heart and your mind and why you want to own one of these, they will call you. And then the next step, you have to fly to Switzerland to pick it up. And they take you up on the mountain and they talk about why they designed this and why it's supposed to travel around the world and heal people. So I'm just happy to have one of these in my possession. I hope you guys like what I'm going to play. I'm just going to do some random stuff on there and some chill music, some COVID chill stuff. By the way, when I'm kind of recording on the fly here and mixing stuff as I go, so I'm blending it together.
everybody. Stay safe and wash your paws. Love medicine to y'all.
Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival Virtual Edition, featuring interactive cooking demos, live and streaming concerts featuring some of Canada's best Indigenous talent, virtual marketplace, online arts and crafts demonstrations, social distancing powwow, and more. Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival Virtual Edition, June 1st to 21st. More at summersolsticefestivals.ca.